What's going on, man? Welcome to the T.B.O.G.G show. In the building, Hannah with the real in the building. We are live on location. And I got a special, I don't even know if he's a guest. That's my man. That's my brother, man. And we've been talking about doing this. And wouldn't it happen that we had a District King, Go-Go, line dancing event with my man T.B.O.G.G, man? What's up, Soldier? How you doing, man? You doing good? All right, that's got so look, we gonna have to talk closer to the mic because now the music in the background. But we good to go. So we had everybody watching, man. We had CC's spot, Telfair, Boulevard, and Springs, Maryland, and we here at a historic event, the most historic event. I say our historic event is that I'm here with my man T.B.O.G.G. We've been talking about doing something called the Designated Hitters podcast. But right now, we ain't gonna go too deep for you, man. First of all, I know you're a man of few words, but tell little people what you got going on in the book. You know, you got the book, plenty of books you've written, your author, your clothing line. Tell people where they can find you at, man. And we're gonna talk about this event we got going on.
Well, if we're gonna go to the book first, so I want to do my autobiography. So first, I know who I am and from whom they're reading from. To dive into me a little more, but it's a little deeper than rap. Like a friend told me one day, a person can't hurt you and then tell you how to heal. So I was basically trying to save the book to not hurt certain people in my life. Right. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like every time I write, you know, I get emotional. Yeah. But I feel something, you know what I mean? Where after I'm done, I feel a little, you know what I mean?
But it's like it's like, first of all, I commend you. You know, we both did government mandated vacations and state vacations, right? And I said I wanted to write a book. So that's one thing I always commend you. We have both been.
Okay, let me stop. Let me stop.
Go ahead.
All right, so I don't like that you say you want to write it. Because you're saying you want like somebody holds you back. You hold yourself back. You know what I mean? Once you put that pen to the paper, I promise you're going to. A lot is going to materialize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I look at it like this, though. What's your thoughts on this? I say before we even put pen to paper, our feet are like ink. And every step we take tells a story, right? So maybe I'm exhausted from writing. For all y'all niggas is about to hear what I say, I'm not bragging, but it is what it is. But I wrote to achieve 4 degrees coming out of jail. And writing and work and all that. So it's almost like I want my journey to be told by my walks as opposed to what I write on paper.
Okay, but that's what though.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Everybody can't see you walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so because of that, you got to give them another avenue.
Okay.
That avenue is that paper.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's there long before we gone, right?
Okay, so look at this, right? So I read something the other day where a female said that men don't know how to talk verbally, but they can text, but you don't feel nothing in the text. But at the same time, what that's telling you is everybody has a different way of communicating. Everybody has a different way of showing you who they are.
Right.
You gotta accept it how they giving it to you until you can't accept it no more. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that's what the problem is, because you can't tell a person to not. You can't, because that might be the only way.
Right.
And so I say that to say, so you want them to see your steps. You want your steps to align with your pen. Okay, that's understandable. But you still want to have something out there to where a person can see. A person can read, a person can feel, a person can understand, because ain't nobody understand you if all they see is one avenue, and that avenue, they can't look at it.
And on top of that, I get it because when we are built the way we built, we rub people the wrong way and they might miss the message. But if it's read, they might receive the message a lot easier.
So what you said was we
right at the window.
You said we
Mama
might
son.
rub them the wrong way. Nah, they rub themselves the wrong way. You know why?
Right.
Because I am who I am, you are who you are. I'm
Right.
not gonna be somebody else or somebody else.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
But how long did it take you to get to that conclusion?
Long time. Long time. I'm 53.
And
it took me damn near 40.
okay.
See what I'm saying? But the thing is though, I reached it because I had to throw a lot of people away. I had to. I ain't put them to the side. I threw them away.
Wow. So does that mean you never go back to that what you throw away?
You got some people that you just cannot grow with.
Okay.
You can't. I need to grow. Because if I don't grow, then that means I'm going backwards, right?
Right.
And if I go backwards, grow means to go upward.
Right.
To go beyond, you know what I mean?
Right.
To go beyond where you at.
Right. Right.
If I'm not growing, what I'm doing, I'm standing still. So I'm gonna let somebody catch up to me.
Uh-huh.
Or I'm gonna go backwards. Backwards, my past is terrible.
Right.
I don't want to go back
Right.
there.
Right.
I learned from it.
So at what point do you decide that you're throwing somebody away? Now, so let's look at, let's say 20 years ago to now. At what point 20 years ago, how far did you let it get to compared to now, where you not even going to waste time? Because that's what people need to know.
All right, so 20 years ago, we talked about this before, but we talked about it. Before. But 20 years ago, it was more so I wanted to be accepted. So I let a lot of stuff go. Even though I felt it, but once I realized I got to the point where, I got three, and she keeps me on my toes the way she'll let me know, like, I'm looking at her like, to me, what I'm doing, and I have to think about it. I'm like, you're right.
Right.
But she's telling me that at a young age. So what is the older person telling me? So it means first people gotta know because they're not telling me. Like, you don't have to verbally tell me.
Yeah.
Yo.
So I know for me, you remember, you ain't get it as much as everybody else did, but I would always be, why you don't ever answer your phone? Like, I've been calling you, right? And I've always, because you know the situation I dealt with, my dental situation, right? So for the brotherhood, I got to see the brother, right? But also I got to see some superficial ass motherfuckers. So at that point, whether it's family, friends, I started creating like my own shit. You know what I mean? Where
I'm there now. I'm there now.
right. So it don't matter how long it takes you to get there, but everybody has to get there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to get there. And for me, I even told my mother the other night, she said, why don't you answer the phone? And I said, Mom, how do you know that my peace doesn't reside in me not answering the phone? Like, because most people, when they call you, what are they talking about? Somebody else, something, and I'm not a gossip dude. Go sit, right? I'm not a gossip dude. And I want to flow and be spiritual. And it's like the people that claim to be this and want to help people be the same people that talk about this.
Well, let me tell you. So that's a catch-22 because you still gotta accept people when they pray. Now the thing is, you can accept them and then get the hell out the way. You know what I mean? Because you know a person gonna talk. You know a person. Say if somebody calling me and it's about gossip. I don't want to hear it. Let them know. Redirect them.
Right.
That way the next call won't be about God.
Right. Right.
So we mess up with it and said, we let them give it the gospel.
Yeah.
Like that's what we want. That's not what we want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes you want to hear some other thing, what you got going on in your life.
Yeah.
So it can break it up so you can feel like you want to know that you human.
Yeah. Somebody's going through. So I'm with that. I can receive that because it's hard for reciprocity in society when you have people around you. So like you said, it's almost like the testimony in church, right? Until you stand up, testify, because you never know who you might hear. Almost pretty much like you're saying, writing a book, because everybody can't see your walk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what's up, man. But listen, man, let me tell y'all what we got. We got CC's the Spot Food Hall, man. Beautiful location. If you know where we at, Burger Apollo, the Card Seafood. Right now, this is a situation where we got District Kings, we got Lachey Ayana. We got a good situation, man. Make sure if you got some time, come on down. We from 7 to 10. The band kicking it off. So now I want to talk about your clothing line, man. I mean, I know you don't get no discounts. You know what I mean? So don't even ask.
That's not what it is.
We have sales though.
So let me tell you this, right? So the price is so good. Let me tell you that because it might not be good to everybody. The prices, I believe, are so low that everybody should be able to pay.
Right.
But the thing is, though, I can't count the next man's pocket, so I don't know.
Right.
So I won't stand it.
Right.
But what I will say is, it's good quality. Take my time.
Yes.
And mean something.
Right.
So I'm not. So if it's wrong, then I'm gonna fix it. You know what I mean?
And tell them real quick. Let me interject. What does CUI stand for?
Knowledge unveils your intelligence.
Okay.
Now, I read a text the other day that I got from a female that said, I'm wrong. That knowledge doesn't unveil your intelligence. So I said, but this is my interpretation, not yours. So this is how I approach it, not how you approach it. So I say that to say, so the next person, they can approach it how they want to approach it.
Right.
And they can make the acronym what they want to do.
Right. Right.
As long as it begins with knowledge.
But most people ain't crafty enough to come up with an acronym.
So it's not that they're not crafty enough, they just don't think, let me make an acronym out of it.
Right. Right.
Because what it is, and to be true with you, my little brother came up with it. I just put the finish and touches on it. But the thing is, all you gotta do is this. I want to make an acronym. 9 letters up and put words underneath it that have meaning.
But come on, boy. You know you are a wordsmith.
It's not about being a wordsmith. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Wordsmith to me has a vocabulary is different. Like they got words that you ain't never heard before. All my words, they not vanilla, but I know how to put them. You know what I mean? Because I'm taking my time with it. I got to think about what I'm saying because I got to stand on what I'm saying. I'm not going to just give you something and then have you come back to it like, well, you was too fast with this thought. I got to work in reverse. I got to fix that. Now I'm going to move forward. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so I'm not going to take the wordsmith. I'm not going to take that title. You know what I mean? I take my time, and I want to give you something that's educated. Because I gave you too much of something that was dumbed down. Right. So I want to give you something that's educated because I got 3 kids. I don't never want them to think. I really don't want them to think about the negative. I want them to think about all the positive.
Right.
So yeah.
But see, for me, now I do agree that it's words people heard before, but I think the thing that misguides people is that just because you heard the word before, if you don't know what it means and you can't comprehend the context of it, then it's still a problem. So a wordsmith is not just someone that can provide words that you might not have heard before, but it's someone that's contextual. ends and can provide meaning behind words. I always say, if you don't know words and definitions, it's like a foreign language. When people speak and you don't know what they're talking about, that's why when you go into boardrooms and you hear words and they laugh at you because they know, even in law, let's just look at it like this. When you go to court, that language that you're talking, yes, we heard it. But in the context that they talking, they about to send your ass up the river. And you don't even know. And all you got is a quarter pointed or your lawyer that you taking the pay. So that's why I say first. So look, we're gonna go to a quick break because I got my cousin, I gotta find her, man. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Get your ass down to CC spot, man. They got the line dancing going on. So I'm gonna mute the mics and let the cameras rock for you. Me and Cooley gonna come right back. I got Gigi from the District Kings. We just got a lot of shit going on, man. Rig TV, Cooley Grand Television. Stay tuned, man. Don't be nowhere. We'll be right back. I like. Be back. I had to go secure the package. You know what it's like to secure the package. Maybe you don't, but we back in the building, man. Being the cool. This little pop-up designated here the T.B.O.G.G show. Making it frank, we got like 5 podcasts in one. But that's what I'm gonna start doing more, man. Getting out and about, showing some love to the community, man. We ain't meant to be boxed in. I'm just thankful for Bowie to come across the waters on his day off. You know what? Yeah. So I definitely appreciate that. And so at the end of the day, what you think about, since it's here the T.B.O.G.G show, man? I know I brought you in. I think, matter of fact, one of the first guests that came in when I started the T.B.O.G.G show. And I took a break because I want to treat it like a TV show, like season 1, season 2, not every week. Because I feel like people come on every week and talk about the same shit, right? And I'm trying to talk about business. So when you look at what's going on, and this in the state of business, because you have a direct connection with it, what do you think is missing when we look at this culture, this logo that many call culture, but like I told you before, I don't think culture can exist if you don't have a succession plan and you don't have something in place to take care of the so-called family fathers. So what do you think of the current state? What do you think could be like a three-pronged approach? Because one of the things, shout out to Jahar, shout out to all of them doing something. Jahar made a post about the $15 million go-go fund that was allocated by DC, but they don't know where the money is going. Some people are getting some of the money, but yeah. So what you think about that? Because I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it.
So you asked me what I think about money or the whole. No,
it's overall. It's overall.
It's all over the place.
Okay.
It's all over the place because, and to be honest, we got some promoters. They not for the culture. They for themselves, and they lining themselves, and lining their pockets.
Right.
That's what they think about the bottom dollar.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not so much we need to stay ongoing because that's what it needs to be because it's ours. You know what I mean? So I believe that we are the ones that can stop it. Nobody else.
Right.
But the way we're stopping it is because there's no direction. Because you have two people that you got bad feuding with each other. You got promoters feuding with other promoters. There's no round table. There ain't nobody to sit down and like let's say a chuck where he can bring everybody to the table and everybody understand that's who it is. That's who he is. Who he is. Yeah. And so he can bring some medium to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't have anybody like that.
Right.
And if we do, nobody wants to take that. Nobody wants to take that leadership from.
Yeah.
To where, man, we all need to sit in the room and understand that, okay, they're closing venues, so we need to do what we need to do so these other venues can stay open.
Right.
So the way we do that is we make sure the security's tight, the money's right, and everybody's happy at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's some bars right there. They call them bars. Tight, right, and night, nigga.
Yeah, so you got to think about that because a lot of people say, sorry, so I'm on the security side.
Right.
So I think about
most important part. I believe you're the most important part.
It is because the thing is, you can have 100 fans in there, but people feel safe enough to come see those fans.
Right.
It's not just about the building. The building alone is not going to be what makes you say, okay, I'm going to come out and see somebody because they had this building right here. You got to feel safe there.
Right.
You know know what I mean? And so it's we gotta come together and have a talk.
And so I like what you said because I think the problem is one of the many problems is that those that need to be valued more in the situation are not valued, right? But also the bigger problem is like ownership to me, right? So we got a lot of. I don't want to discount the fact that we have some black-owned establishments, but when it comes to the establishments where so-called A-level bands play in, they don't look like us. Bass Eddie, Aqua Lounge, back in the day. That's a still player Aqua. Babylon, right? You got definitely interest in that. And so what happens is, like Jahal was talking about a misappropriation of $15 million. But my question is from 1970 to 2020, 1976, and let's give them, they say 50 years will be next year. How much funds were misappropriated on cars, shoes, clothes, when we could have been buying buildings? Like I used an example yesterday. I said when Cherry's closed over in Southeast, any club, Pacific K, Safari nightclub, Safari Club, all the motherfuckers that made money in those areas should have been in the position to buy those clubs. So we complain about gentrification when other people come in wouldn't do the right stuff with their money, when a lot of us are wearing things on our back that are not assets. So can you speak to the need for a redirection of the money that actually is made by? So I know what you're doing. I ain't count your money. You don't do that. But you are author. You have a clothing line. You work security and Go-Go. So, and you also have some other business exploits. So that means you are one of a few that the money that you derive from Go-Go, you're doing something positive with it that you can leave a legacy and create ownership. So how do you recommend, yes, come together at a table if needed, but what needs to be done with the money that we know these bands are making, these promoters are making, these DJs are making? What has to be done with that?
So this is where the problem begins. You can't tell the next man what to do. I can hope he does. And with the hosting, we right, buy buildings, but no building's gonna be bought until we're together. We're not together.
Right.
So because we're not together, we're not thinking on a like-minded path.
Right.
So no one's thinking about let me buy a building. They think about themselves.
Right.
Now we do need to have some conglomerate get together. And not even a conglomerate, but two people get together and talk. Like I said, have a round table and talk about what needs to happen.
Right.
Because if we want to preserve what we have, we got to do it. Yeah. We is the main entity here. We.
Right.
So if there's no we, it ain't gonna work. Because you got too many people got their hands in it.
Yeah.
You got 1,000 promoters. And everybody charges different.
Yeah.
And so when you got an up and down rate, people want the one that's lesser. But when you get the lesser, what do you get? That's a quality, yeah. So
you saw sort of like the OPEC nation. All the oil companies dictate the price of oil.
Yeah.
So come together like an oligarchy, right?
Yeah.
Where even though it's an Exxon and a Shell directly across the street from them, the price is the same. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah. I like there's some wiggle room in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if you ain't got that, ain't nobody gonna want to work with nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's because you got some bands out here that could be playing invitation. But they not playing invitation because nobody won't work with them because the number might be wrong. The number might be right.
Right.
He changed the numbers up, and you don't even know he changed the numbers up.
Right.
He unified now.
So now the big question is now, do you think we will get unified? As he looks out the beautiful landscape, the parking lot, y'all see him line dancing in the background. Again, we on Temple Boulevard.
No.
I'm gonna give him some time to break. He said no.
No.
You heard it here first.
You know why? You know why? Because we got other entities pulling us away.
Right.
So you got people who want to be. All right, so instead of doing what you got to do and keep your peace, you want the whole time. And so what that is to me, what that is the microwave. You want the microwave.
Yeah. Get ready to do.
And so you don't want the. So most people don't understand. The microwave is looping your food, but it's the inside. It's the inside cook. It's
no nutrition in it.
Everything gets burnt out. So, but yet, conventional oven, what's it going to do? Cook everything at a slow pace.
Right.
And that way you know what you're getting.
Right.
I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know what I'm getting. Nah, then I can call.
And I'm willing. So one thing about it, like, I'm tired of games, right? Like, I grew up around hustle.
You did? That's what's up.
I don't look like one.
Nah, you definitely don't. I think you look like a real head, but I ain't gonna do it. But I didn't know you come around hustling.
I do it. But look, I say that to say is, I can identify a motherfucker a mile away.
That's the hustle mentality. You got to. You ever get home and
that's strategic, right?
Yeah.
The problem I have when I come to a situation, I'm coming for business, right? Meaning I want to be. The problem is the hustler, because I don't look like a hustler.
They stereotype.
And they think they're getting over, but the whole time, I done peep your move.
All right, but let me ask you this though.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, right? But at the same time, it depends on the level.
Okay.
Because George Jung ain't look like no hustler.
Who?
George Jung.
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay.
He look like no hustler. He look like he wanted to go surf.
Right.
But the way it's at, you know what I mean? So it just depends on the level that we're talking about.
Right. Wait a minute. You good?
Because I say that because everything is in step. Everything is in step.
But one like yourself, and I would say myself, when I know that everything is steps, and I can identify the first to the last step, when somebody comes to me, it turns me off because I'm going to give them one time, I'm going to give them 2 times. But I'm going to be out the back door by the time they think it's the 3rd time because the game can't be played by somebody that's already studied the game. And so I get what you're saying is levels, but a lot of people don't think that you know the levels. And so for me,
but you got to remember that's not for everybody.
Right.
Because just like you said, when we're talking about confidence, when you walk with confidence, you have to know why you're confident. Just know you are. I don't need to give you no story. I don't need to give you my backstory as why I am where I am. Even though I am going to give it to you in my book, but it's like I don't need to sit down and tell nobody that I don't know. Well, this is why I walk in my head.
Right.
Because they might not be ready to receive it. And even though it's about transferring information,
right,
and knowledge, you also have to know your audience. The audience might not be ready. Even though, remember when I told you one day, I said we might have to dumb it down.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is the thing though. It's not so much dumbing it down. It's just I remove myself from it.
it becomes futile because it serves no purpose.
Because it's not being received.
So for me, that's why I don't like going in those rooms because, like you talked about, if you can't be yourself, right? Like a lot, always, you've known me long enough to know, ain't nothing new under the sun with me, right? So what happens is people that are not used to the context and the language, how I speak, be like, man, you ain't got to speak that way around me. Like, and I can't be around you.
But that's the thing. You don't even have to give them that. If they tell you that, like, because see, the thing is, don't make yourself upset by not understanding why somebody doesn't want to understand. You know what I mean? Because it's them wanting to understand you. They don't. Why you upset about that? Okay, let me move.
Right.
And when you're ready, then I will accept.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So you don't because everybody's not. I wasn't even ready to accept who I was.
That's powerful.
So once I realized and I know how to exude it onto the next person, and if that doesn't work, and I move away.
Right. That's the throw in the trash.
Find a choice because I don't see it. See too much of it. Too much of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back in.
I'm with you, man. So again, man, you watching the T.B.O.G.G show, me and my man. This is CC Spot, the Spot Food Hall, Tilbury Boulevard. This is the zone where you can get here by railway, trailway, by car, by bus. We don't care how you get here. You know how the song goes. Get here if you can. They got a lot of great things going on. Make sure you follow CC Spot on IG. Tonight you still got time. Mr. Kings, they start drinking yet. They're gonna start shortly. Shout out to Jam and Jeff. Shout out to 32. Shout out to Nicky Mars, man. Shout out to Pee-wee, man. It's gonna be a good little situation, right? So look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take another quick break, man. Let y'all enjoy some sights and maybe some sounds, man. We'll be right back, man. Real TV, Movie Brands Television. We getting it in. Holla. We back, man. We back. This is a little bit of teasing, man. District Kings. Shout out to the Shade, Ayana. I was just asking the Kool-Aid, man. I don't know where they come out with these line dances at. Is it one centralized line dance choreographer that's in her house, or his house, coming up with steps? And where do they go to introduce these jokes? Because there's too many goddamn line dances out there. What's going on with the line dance? I mean, I love it because maybe that's what we need to get the unity together. Motherfucking line dance.
Now remember, it's coming from a central area.
But I remember the electric slide, right? There's a lot of stuff, but I'm like, they just took that motherfucker to a whole different level.
I don't know what to say.
Hold on, let me ask you this real talk. As men, should men be line dancing?
The Kool-Aid won't be line dancing.
So we're in the field, man. I got my cousin out here with me, and we just chilling, man. We did 151 audio, video. We just did it in, man. This is James blessing the stage in the background. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but we did. We just having a good time. Good food. How was the food? How was the food?
I'm going to sleep.
Well, you know what happened when you eat good food. Good food, good sleep.
Go to sleep. I got to go.
Right. So look, what we gonna do, we gonna go home. Come back later, we gonna get some interviews. Because everything ain't for everybody. We in the building, though, man. Make sure y'all do something to support a black businessman and unify, like the brother said. In the meantime, I'm gonna go mingle and jingle.
And don't forget, he about the line dance.
And I'm a line dance too. Fuck it. If he won't, I win. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back in about 30, 40 minutes. Let's take a little break. I want to get some of this break on. All right, please.